Thank you, everybody, for joining us at today's press conference. I'm attorney Gloria Allred, and with me is Sherry Vill. I'm going to be reading a statement, and then Ms. Vill will be reading her statement. I will also be taking questions. Sherry will not be taking any questions. I will also be showing you some photographs. I will be holding them up to the screen. In addition, after the question and answer period, we will also screen share the photographs which I am showing you. This will all, of course, be available to you, including the recording, after the press conference, most likely within an hour after the press conference. So thank you very much for coming. And today I am here with a woman who, according to reports, may be the 10th woman to accuse New York Governor Andrew Cuomo of inappropriate sexual conduct. Sherry Vill is 55 years old, and she's a resident of New York State. She is a businesswoman, a wife, a mother, and a grandmother. She has been married for more than 30 years, and she has 3 children. She also has 1 grandchild. What Sherry will describe has been disturbing to her ever since she became the victim of the governor's unwelcome and unconsented to physical contact with her, which included, but was not limited to, grabbing her face and kissing her in 2017. For years, she wanted to report what Governor Cuomo did to her, but some members of her family discouraged her from filing a complaint because they wanted to protect her, and they feared that if she made what happened to her public, that the governor might use his power to retaliate against her and her family. For that reason, Sherry made the difficult decision to remain silent. Recently, however, Sherry decided that the people of New York deserve to know the truth and that Governor Cuomo should be held accountable for what he has done. For that reason, she has decided to break her silence and overcome her fear by speaking truth to power. She feels that it's never too late to do the right thing, and that is why she's speaking out today. After our press conference today, we plan to contact the New York Attorney General's office in order to inform them that Sherry is willing to cooperate in the investigation that is currently being conducted into numerous allegations of sexual harassment by the governor. Sherry is very brave to have made the decision to break her silence. She is supported in her decision by many members of her family, some of whom were witnesses to what the governor did to Sherry, and who also felt that what the governor did was very surprising and not appropriate. Given what Sherry alleges and what other accusers have alleged, many people are wondering if Sherry thinks that Governor Cuomo should resign. Her answer is very simple. Sherry feels that there should be a full and fair investigation of all of the allegations against the governor, and then the report should be made public. After the governor is afforded due process and the report is published, then Sherry will make the decision as to what action she thinks should be taken against the governor. Women like Sherry will no longer be silent. They will refuse to be intimidated by powerful men. We are very proud of Sherry, and we look forward to due process, not only for the governor, but also for those who allege that they have been victimized by him. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Sherry Vill. Sherry?
Good afternoon. It was spring of 2017. I lived in Greece, New York, a suburb of Rochester. Lake Ontario had flooded our homes on the lakeshore. On Monday, May 28, 2017, Governor Cuomo planned a visit to our neighborhood to survey damages and have a press conference. I came home from work to see all the commotion going on. I was asked by a staffer if I would allow Governor to come into my home, view our damages, and I agreed. Governor Cuomo went into my house with my husband's son, along with his staff and some town officials. I came in shortly afterward, and when I walked in, I said to the governor, "Do you think that we have to live like this?" That's when the governor looked at me, approached me, took my hand, and pulled me to him. He leaned down over me and kissed my cheek. I was holding my small dog in my arms, and I thought he was going to pet my dog, but instead he wedged his face between the dog and mine and kissed me on the other cheek in what I felt was highly sexual manner. I wasn't expecting that at all. He said, "That's what Italians do, kiss both cheeks." I felt shocked and didn't understand what had just happened, but I knew I felt embarrassed and weird about his kissing me. I am Italian, and in my family, family members kiss. Strangers do not kiss, especially upon meeting someone for the first time. The governor's staff started to walk out of the house. Governor Cuomo lagged behind them. He stopped, he turned to me and said, "You are beautiful." That made me feel even more uncomfortable. I felt as though he was coming on to me in my own home. The governor and his staff proceeded to view the damages outside of the house. I purposely did not follow because I felt uncomfortable given what had just happened in my living room. I walked out the front door and stayed in the front of the house away from them. After seeing the damages, the governor then circled to the front of the house where I was standing. He then approached me. He took my hand and said, "Is there anything else you want?" I didn't know how to respond. He then leaned down on top of me, and while still holding one of my hands, he forcibly grabbed my face with his other big hand and kissed my cheek. Again, in a very aggressive manner. I felt like I was being manhandled, especially because he was holding my face and he was kissing my cheek again. I could not use my other hand to stop him because he did it so quickly. And I also was holding my dog with my other hand. The way he looked at me and his body language made me very uncomfortable. I felt he was acting in a highly flirtatious and inappropriate manner, especially in front of my family and neighbors. He is almost 6 feet tall. I'm approximately 5 feet tall. He towered over me. There was nothing I could do. When the governor left, I thought the craziness was over. However, to my surprise, within days, I received a call on my voicemail from the governor's staff. The woman on the other end said Governor Cuomo was having an event in town, naming the place and the time, and asked if I'd like to attend. Notably, she did not say my husband and I or my family and I, only specifically me. I purposely did not respond to the invitation. I felt very uneasy about the call. I was the only one that received the call and the personal invite from the governor. Then to top it off, the governor sent me a letter and pictures. The pictures were featured the governor and me. And the letter was addressed only to me. More alarms going off. The whole thing was so strange and inappropriate and still makes me nervous and afraid because of his power and position. This has had a long-term effect on me. My neighbors and customers kept saying I was the governor's new girlfriend and other similar comments, which I did not like at all. I have been in business for many years and routinely interact with male customers and vendors. I know the difference between an innocent gesture and a sexual one. I never felt as uncomfortable as I did the day that Governor Cuomo came to my home. His actions were very overly sexual, highly inappropriate, and disrespectful to me and my family. The governor's actions have continued to bother me, and I have expressed that to my family many times in intervening years. However, I was always afraid to report it. I am still afraid of him, but I am no longer willing to remain silent, and that is why I am coming forward today.
Thank you very much, Sherry. And now I'd like to display some photographs that were taken that day. This is a photograph of Governor Cuomo inside of Sherry's home, holding her hand. The person that you see with a hat on is her son, Al Jr. Vill, and he is recording. So that's Sherry and the governor. The next photo is also taken inside of her home. It's a better photograph of the governor's face. Again, he is holding her hand, and I'm showing you that. And now I will also show you the next photo, which is the letter that the governor signed and sent to Sherry, and that's the letter to which she just referred. And the letter says, Sherry Vill, we have deleted her address, but it does say Rochester, New York, and with the zip code. Dear Ms. Vill, it was a pleasure to meet you recently. Thank you very much again for your hospitality. We will continue to do all we can to provide relief and support to you and your fellow homeowners while strengthening the local infrastructure against future flooding. Thank you for your partnership. Without question, cooperation is more important than ever in times like these. I look forward to continuing our work to ensure a stronger, safer future for the local community. With warmest regards and best wishes, sincerely, Andrew M. Cuomo. And it's dated July 19th, 2017. It's on the stationery of State of New York Executive Chamber, Albany, Andrew M. Cuomo, Governor. And now I will show you the photo of the governor kissing Sherry. The photo of the kiss is a little bit blurred, and we apologize for that. And the reason that it's blurred is on the day of the governor's visit to Sherry's home, her son was taking the video as I just described to you and as is seen in the photograph. And essentially, as the governor was going inside and outside, her son was taking video. And then when he came outside and he actually saw the governor kissing his mother, his video was still going. After he posted that video for a very brief time, his sister, Sherry's daughter, took a still photo of the video of the kiss. And that is why it's a little blurred, because it's a still photo taken from a video. So this is the photo of the governor kissing Sherry outside of her house. And on the bottom of the photo, you will see that it says, the governor kissing my mom at Rochester, New York. And you will see that when we display that on the screen as well. All right, thank you for viewing that. And now we will be happy to take some questions. Just hit the Q&A and type in your question. And then I will read the question, and I'll be happy to see if we can answer them. don't see the questions yet, but I do see that 2 participants raised their hand. So if you'll give me a moment, please, I'll look at the chat and we will find the questions. All right. First question is, do I consider this sexual harassment or even a potential criminal offense? Technically, if a person touches another person with the intent to touch that person, it's a battery, civil, potentially criminal. We're not focused on the criminal aspect at all today. We are focused on the investigation by the New York Attorney General's office. So in no way are we suggesting that the governor should be prosecuted for what he did to Sherry. And that answers the next question, which is, was this an assault? Technically, yes. Next question is, have I been in contact with the New York Attorney General's office and its investigation? Not yet, is the answer to that question. But we plan to contact them this afternoon. Next question is that Sherry indicated that she was afraid to come forward earlier. Why? What was she afraid of? And I do believe that I answered that in my statement, that the governor is a very powerful person in New York, and her family was concerned about what might happen if she reported, whether or not it would be something that would cause retaliation towards her or members of her family. So Sherry received the advice that it would be best not to report it at that time. Next question is that the Governor Cuomo kissed her on her cheeks. Did Governor Cuomo kiss you on your lips? And the answer is no. Next question is that the reporter is asking about the governor's staff calling Sherry after visiting her home. Does this demonstrate a pattern with Governor Cuomo sending staffers to call women he's interested in? The answer is, at this time, I only represent Sherry, so I don't want to speculate about a pattern in reference to Governor Cuomo's staff and any contacts they may have made with other women. The reporter also inquires, based on your allegation, Sherry, should Governor Cuomo resign? And I believe we also addressed that in my statement, that we think there should be an investigation and Sherry will decide what she thinks may be the appropriate course of action, what she thinks it should be, after the current investigation by the New York Attorney General's office has concluded and has been made public. Next question, is Sherry pressing charges or only letting the Attorney General know that she is willing to cooperate in her investigation? She is only letting the Attorney General know that she is willing to cooperate in her investigation. The next question is, has Sherry alerted the governor's office of this incident? No. This is the first notice of this incident. This is the first time that Sherry is speaking out about it. Next question, based on my experience, does Governor Cuomo need a psychological evaluation? I think that he should be I think that Governor Cuomo should be judged based on evidence of his conduct. Conduct would include words and deeds, and it will be up to him if he feels that he needs any psychological evaluation. That's not something that I would be in a position to opine about at this time.